Hello, and welcome to the Spiritualist Circle of Light. This is our dream class. We are reviewing Nigel Hamilton's book, Awakening Through Dreams. This particular lesson, we are going to be talking about the alchemical stage of Nigredo. Nigredo is called the blackening stage. Hamilton uses the alchemical process of refinement in his applications here. And Nigredo is the blackening stage. It's also called the stage of decay or decomposition. In our case, it's going to be dismantling of those habits and mental constructs that no longer serve us. And it is through our dreams that this is brought to our attention. So, in the case of dream reality, it is, like I said, it is the process of self examination, as is meditation. Meditation is about self examination. And what we do is we confront those aspects about ourselves that we tend to ignore. Well, maybe not ignore. Probably shouldn't say that, but we tend not to be aware of. We find these aspects about ourselves in our dreams. They come to us from the past. Our dreams will most typically be about the past. If they're about the future, then it's a different type of dream. But when we are examining the self, we are looking at the past and what the dream is revealing about our past. Now, typically, dreams are about something that we find disturbing. They're based on anxiety and a lot of levels of anxiety. Mostly from the subtle level, but the more disturbing the dream, the higher the level of anxiety is there. And we may not even be aware of it. Typically, we are not. I've had several dreams that brought to my attention issues that I had not dealt with in my past. One of them had to do with the accusations that I had received in the past, and the motivation and what it brought to light was that the idea was, I found, still disturbed me, and I needed to explore that, to reconcile that. In another instance, this is, I don't know if I've shared this dream with you or not. I spared you sharing the babysitter dream again. But in this particular dream, which occurred April, right around April 1st, I believe, of 2020, in the dream, I would touch people and I would see their future. And if I saw that their future held a great deal of pain, a great deal of emotional pain, well, then I would dispatch them. I would I would use a dirk and I would drive it right up through the chin here, and then it would come out the cranium there. Now, I never saw myself do the act. I only saw myself withdraw the dirk, which is a long bladed knife. I only saw myself withdrawing the dirk. Now, there was no blood there, so everything was symbolic with it. And I did this to one particular person, and another person came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and said that just because I can see doesn't mean I know what the big picture is. Because the person I had just dispatched still had an important role to play, and I had disrupted that. And I said, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that. I'm in the dream." And I'm thinking consciously. I had not thought of that. And then we are transported to the North Pole. And you know how dreams work. And so I was trying to discover how to return to where I was at, how to leave the North Pole. And I'm asking this person for the secret, his secret of the shortcut. You know, I'm aware in the dream, and I didn't think that all I had to do was just focus. And but anyway, this was not part of the lesson of the dream. The continuing with this, uh, the person, you know, that I had was asking about the shortcut, the image changed, and it changed to something like this. This, pretend this is the world. I know it's not. And they were bent over backwards atop the world. I use these for props in my artwork. And that's what was happening. So now looking at this, let's look at this here. Now, a knife, which is what the dirk is, it's a long blade, indicates a backstabber. And backstabbers do one of two things. Well, I don't won't say do one of two things. They often expose the folly in your endeavor, and that's what was being exposed here was my folly. And you know, the fact that the knife came up through here, I was either preventing them from saying something, or I was not listening. I was dismissing them. I was shutting them up. And the blade coming out the cranium, mind. I need to think about it. Think about what it is that they are saying. Think about what they are telling me. So no blood was present. So I know that says it has nothing to do with vitality or any of that nature there, but it I needed to pay attention to, I needed to look further down the road, and I needed to widen my gaze, because like the person said, just because I can see doesn't mean I know what the big picture is. And the big picture, remember, world, this is the big picture. The North Pole, at the time I didn't know this, but I've been doing a lot of research on a class I'm putting together exploring the Tarot. And in my explorations, I learned that the North represents the physical plane. Clue, physical plane here is what this dream is about. And the idea is, yes, what is it about bending over backwards? You bend over backwards to help people. Typically, that's what you do, meaning you go out of your way to help people. And he had the world. So I needed to expand my view of the world. I needed to present my lessons in a fashion that's more understandable to more people. I tend to overthink things, intellectualize them. I get caught up in the esoteric. So that's what was going on with this. And just to give you a little bit of background here, uh, one of the members of the Spiritualist Circle of Light wanted to talk to me about putting together a newsletter and wanted me to write some short, simple pieces, which is something I have difficulty doing. But you know, the dream here is pointing out that I need to change that habit, and I need to try and simplify things. It's just, again, what did we talk about earlier? Habits, old habits in the past. And this is a habit that I have that I need to dismantle. So this is what the operation of Nigredo is about and how it relates to our dreams. Now, dreams are driven by some form of disturbance, but when that disturbance gets magnified, then we need to explore it. And usually the magnification is of a habit, a response, an event, and we need to break it down into smaller pieces to discover what it is behind the disturbance that is motivating it. What is motivating that disturbance? And now let's take a look at some images here. When we interpret dreams, there are some cliches and some simple explanations for some of the images that we see. For instance, this image here with the pipes, it water pipes, plumbing. Plumbing is the typical thing. If you've got a leaky, my plumbing is leaky. Typically, people will say that when they have urinary problems. So, plumbing will indicate something, part of the plumbing of the body, such as the urinary tract, the circular system, the the digestive system. All of those require a form of plumbing. So when we look at this image here, we've got running water, water running out of pipes. It still has to do with plumbing, but the message here is get your butt up out of bed and go use the restroom. Typically that's what it's telling me. When I see running water, the stronger the pressure, the more urgency the need to get up. Bicycles. Bicycles are something that, we all dream about. And bicycles will typically represent balance in some fashion. Such as in this instance here, you're riding along, got your arms out, you're balanced. That's what it's about. It's about balance. And obviously, this is going to tell you that you are out of balance. There's a problem. Be mindful of what you're doing because there's some issues there. And then you've got the racing. Now this isn't just bicycles. Anything that requires balance, such as riding a motorcycle, a scooter, even a skateboard. Anything that requires balance is going to use it. I use bicycles because bicycles is an easy cliche. And in this instance, you've got this person is just racing. They're in harmony, they're in the flow. That's what this is saying. You're in the zone. You are, everything is moving along beautifully. Harmony. This, on the other hand, could be rigid thinking. You're caught up in your balance too much. And by that, there is no change there. You've become rigid. Your thinking has become old. You're in balance, but you're not in balance. You're not with the times. That sort of thing. You're no longer adapting. Oh, and here's one. This is from a dream that I shared with you earlier, which inspired this. A behind, not a but a behind. Behind is going to be, if you're behind something, you're either behind on your work, meaning you need to get caught up, or you're behind someone, you support them. There's, a couple of things here. And that's what's happening with that. You are behind them. And old books. Old books may suggest history. Um, Books on their own for myself, and this is hard. This is, personalize it. Everything gets personalized with this. No, I give you general terms, but you got to personalize it. Books can mean research. A dream I had a while back that I'm sure I shared this is I the behind of a woman was there, and I'm caressing her behind, and then the scene shifts, how they do in dreams, and I'm in a library. I'm behind in my research. So books, library can suggest research. That's all we have for this lesson. So if you found this valuable, please leave some seeds. Please make a donation. Go to our website and please make a donation. You can donate through PayPal. There is an address if you feel more comfortable of sending through the mail. Also, we have a QR code. Just hit pause and scan it with your smartphone there. I'm not sure how that works. So please leave some seeds with us. The seeds you leave with us allows us to leave seeds with others. So again, thank you very much for visiting. We truly appreciate it. And thank you for allowing us to share.